In today's class, let's listen to a video lecture on queer theory. So, what is queer theory and when did it emerge? Let's look at the historical background while we begin to know about queer theory. So, queer theory, it is a critical theoretical framework that emerged in the early 1990s, and it was deeply rooted in post-structuralist thought, feminist theory, and LGBTQ plus studies. So, it began as a part of the gay liberation movement and the lesbian gay movements. So it challenges the conventional understandings of gender and sexuality. As you know, queer theory it's based on gender and sexuality as the basic concepts regarding this, and it seeks to deconstruct the binary categories that dominate Western thought, such as the male, female, and heterosexual, homosexual. So, based on queer theory, what we try to do, or what queer theory tries to do, is break the binary categories that have been going on in this world for a long time, such as male, female, and heterosexual and homosexual. So, let's move into a more in-depth understanding of this. Emergence of queer theory, dissatisfaction with the limitations of identity and anti-politics within the gay lesbian movements of the 1980s is the one which led to the emergence of queer theory. And it was heavily influenced by Michel Foucault's work on the history of sexuality, which critiqued how social norms or societal norms shape our understanding of sexuality. And along with this, or additional to this, the works of Judith Butler, particularly Gender Trouble, which was published in 1990, it played a crucial role in its formation. And Butler's concept of gender performativity, which suggests that gender is not an inherent identity, but rather a set of repeated actions, became central to queer theory. And what are the concepts put forward by queer theory? One is that it rejects the idea of fixed or stable identities. There is no fixed or stable identities is one concept that queer theory introduces. And then it argues that identities like gay, lesbian, heterosexual, and bisexual are just social constructs that serve to reinforce societal norms and power structures. So these are just social constructs. And instead of embracing these categories, queer theory advocates for more fluid understanding of identity. So, more fluid understanding of identity is what queer theory focuses on. And now let's discuss some key concepts of queer theory. The first one being performativity, as introduced by Judith Butler. Performativity is the idea that gender is not something one is, but something one does. So, what one performs is what determines a person is or his gender, the person's gender. And gender is performed through a series of acts and behaviors that conform to societal expectations. And this concept challenges the notion of gender as a stable and inherent characteristic. So his idea of performativity is in such a way that it challenges the notion of gender as something stable or an inherent characteristic. And the second concept is heteronormativity. It is a very important concept. It refers to the societal expectation that heterosexuality is the default, normal, and natural sexual orientation. Along this times that from ages back, we have this concept that heterosexuality is the normal. So heteronormativity is a expectation that heterosexuality is a normal or the default sexual orientation. And what queer theory does is it critiques heteronormativity for marginalizing non-heterosexual identities and enforcing rigid gender roles. So the purpose of queer theory is to reject or to reverse the heteronormativity. And now the next concept is the deconstruction of binary oppositions. We have already told about binary oppositions. That is, there will be two categories. There will be two extremes. So we are, in queer theory, what we does is the breaking or the deconstruction of these binary oppositions. So queer deconstructs binary oppositions such as male, female, or heterosexual, homosexual, and masculine, feminine. So it argues that these binaries are not natural but socially constructed and that they serve to reinforce systems of power and control. And then the next concept is fluidity and ambiguity. This concept is central to queer theory, and it is the idea of fluid in identity, desire, expression. It embraces ambiguity and resists the urge to categorize or label individuals, and queer theory challenges the notion that identities must be coherent, stable, or conform to societal norms. So, queer theory argues that there is nothing called normal or there is nothing called stable in case of identities. So, it is something against that. That is a fluidity and ambiguity while it comes to queer theory. And then the next one is intersectionality. And although queer theory itself has been critiqued for its lack of intersectional analysis, it has increasingly engaged with the concept of intersectionality, and it has recognized that identities are complex and multifaceted. And intersectionality considers how various forms of oppression, such as racism, sexism, homophobia, all these intersect and impact individuals in unique ways. So this is called intersectionality while it comes to queer theory. And then there is queer politics. Queer politics often involve actions and movements that seek to disrupt normative assumptions about gender and sexuality. There is nothing called the normal or heterosexual is not the normal. So this can include activism, art, and cultural practices that challenge traditional norms, and it pushes for more inclusive understandings of identity. And then there is a queer reading and criticism while we interpret texts. Okay, so in literary and cultural studies, queer reading involves interpreting texts in ways that challenge normative assumptions about gender and sexuality. In different texts, we have seen gender or sexuality being it is written in such a way that heterosexual is considered the norm. So, while interpreting text, we challenge this normative assumptions. And queer readings often uncover subversive meanings or highlight the fluidity of identity and desire in texts that may not explicitly address queer themes. So while reading many texts, the theme of the cure themes might not be explicitly addressed in the text, but what cure reading does is it identifies the cure themes in these texts and uncover the subversive meanings. And while it comes to queer theory in academia, queer theory has had a significant impact on various academic disciplines, including sociology, literature, cultural studies, and psychology. And it has inspired new ways of thinking about power, identity, and the body. And it has also contributed to the broader field of critical theory. So, queer theory is not something that is limited to literature. It has its influence or its impact in sociology, literature, cultural studies, and even psychology. So, there are many areas connected to this. And as we said earlier, it's not just a theory or it's not just a critical reading or not. It does not. It cannot be confined to literary analysis or just reading of the text, but it is more than that, an activism too. So these are the main concepts or a very short introduction of queer theory. We'll be discussing the terms, writers, all related to queer theory in the next classes. So I hope this is clear. So thank you.